They are dead serious. They are not here to mess around.
Yeah, they're locked in. They know how fortunate you are to be in those seats because a lot of people probably applied to be in the regional open for the very first Spirit Forge season, and these guys are the lucky number ones to display their
And
skills. Fiora, there we go. We were
you
just
said
talking about
it.
her.
Raise your baguettes.
That's
To
right. And
say.
that's the over number Fiora. Beautifully designed card. One of my favorite over numbers. Feeling really special. And let's see who the secondary legend is going to
Oh
be.
no! Already.
Already the nemesis, the menace of the meta, Draven, a League of Draven. Looks like they want to start us off for round number 1. But you know, Leroy, I said it in between the little intermission. I think Fiora isn't all that far behind. It ends up being a little bit of who's a bit higher skill level. But let's see. It looks
Yeah.
like you know, the new battlefields are gonna get me a little bit. What battlefield was that, Leroy? Did you see it?
Well, it was still. Uh, it was the one where you can tap your legend to attach or detach.
Oh, Forge of the Fluff, I believe. I'll pull it up on screen. And chat, if you guys want to see any cards, just let me know in the chat, and I should be able to bring it up. So Forge of the Fluff is the first battlefield that's newer to Spirit Forge. When you conquer this when you control this battlefield, friendly legends have Exhaust Me, attaching equipment you control to a unit you control, and that basically plays the same amount as Weapon Master, right? So even if your unit controls an equipment, you can snatch it off of them and equip it onto one of your good units. And what battlefield is that? Is that Draven's battlefield? Because I thought none of these. Oh no, that
Yes.
has to be Fiora's, right? No,
Yeah.
actually,
No.
Monastery's
No.
good
Fiora is
for.
playing the Monastery of Fiora, and Draven is playing this because this battlefield is like you tap your legend and you can attach or detach a weapon for free. And because of this, Draven, since you don't have to type it anyway, it's a passive. It's super useful on it. And this battlefield is used with the legends that
No,
have
look, they're showing
connected.
us Draven is the one on Monastery Harana. What kind of buffs? You think that's a confusion? What kind of buffs can Draven potentially be running? That's kind of confusing, isn't it?
That's super confusing.
They had to have those flipped. I'm willing to bet Draven doesn't benefit from buffs. I'm trying to think in the Fury domain and the Chaos domain. Now on the flip side, Order and Body have Pit Rookie. They have things like Set Brawler to benefit from Monastery Harana. So I'm willing to bet that had to be some kind of flip flop. I'm gonna go ahead and put the battlefield of Monastery Harana on the left side because I just don't believe it, Leroy. I don't believe that
I
a
don't
Draven
either.
is playing Monastery. I think that's just a little confusion from the production.
No, I'm really not buying it. Is your stream still lagging, by the way?
No. If you look on the lower left corner, if you hit that little refresh, it fixes it.
No, I don't have. I was because you asked me, so I was like, I could have shared mine if it was a problem, but right now I'm good.
Okay, yeah, looks like we're both good. Good to go. Just like these players are about to be ready to get this very first round of today's regional open, the Fuzhou, I believe. Fuzhou. How would you say Fuzhou? I think it's Fuzhou.
No, I think you're pretty right with Fuzhou,
Fuzhou
because
it is.
that's what was said during the interview with Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this will not be the Miracle Draven. It will be the more standard version that we know with the weapons and so on.
Yeah, you might be a
Because
little ahead of me because I'm just seeing the mulligan so far on set side. Looks like he's deciding to keep or
no,
mulligan.
I was saying this because of the battlefield,
Okay.
because the new deck that was created has no weapons, so that would not make sense. So it's
Yeah.
probably the one with the Draven Axe. This card is terrifying. The signature axe from Draven is just a monster.
Oh yeah, the signature equipment from Draven is indeed so powerful. And to add on top of it, since he runs that battlefield Forge of the Fluff, I'm willing to bet he's also on Longsword as well. Those are usually the most predominant equipments on a Draven build, so we're probably going to be
Yeah.
expecting that later on. We didn't get to see exactly what cards the Fiora player, but he was leaning towards, I believe, mulliganing a challenge in a set brawler, leaving behind one of the set brawlers, but it is time. I am excited, Leroy. Round number 1 of the Fuzhou Regional Open, the first or the second season regional series coming right to us right here, right now. Fiora versus Draven, and I think it is. Look at how they set up the battlefields. Monastery Hirana's on the left, which usually is for the player on the left, and it looks like Fiora starting things off as she will be on the play. Let's see if she has a nice little 2-drop to start things off.
He did not have when before the mulligan, so I don't know.
It looks like that signature spell, super powerful signature spell from Fiora, the Riposte, is in the hand. So that's something Draven has to be very careful of, because that Riposte can counter anything that targets a friendly unit on your side. Things like Rebuke, fighter flights, anything that you're trying to benefit and win a combat with, the Riposte can sneakily take that down and counter it. So we'll see. This doesn't have anything to play on the turn 1, but on the other side, Draven will start and develop an overzealous fan for now.
Yep. It's one of these cards where I always mess up the name, because in Legends of Runeterra, he was Draven Greatest Fan.
Okay.
And so the names are so close, and I still call it by the wrong name. I still call the card by the wrong name so many times.
We could call it
And
Draven's
Lucian,
greatest fan. Is one of the best cards for Draven early on. But speaking of great cards early on, the Lucian getting established out
yeah,
for Fiora. I'm a big fan of this card. I think it's a
it's
little underrated right now.
it's really strong. The fact that you can just um, go on a battlefield, take your point, and go back is amazing. And especially against Draven, because you will not engage in a fight that you don't want to engage into. And so you are denying your opponent all the draws from the passive effect from the legend.
Yeah, that's right. And it looks like the first point going in the way of Draven, since he played out a unit first, conquering this battlefield that he decided to play out, and smartly goes ahead and plays the champion Draven onto the same battlefield now that it's under his control. And because of that, as we mentioned before with the Forge of the Fluff, you now have the legend ability Exhausting to remove. So we'll see if that ends up playing out. But I like this defensive play. Now you have a total of 6 up to 8 total might from this, so you know it's pretty likely that you're going to get another point from this hold, unless you want to have a big investment from this Fiora, because she can maybe do it. Draven is sort of tapped out, so something like a punch first on this Lucian and an equipment could get it done, but that's a lot of resources to expend this early on.
Yeah, I think you're just happy. I saw Pit Rookie, so maybe you're just happy sending the Lucian with the buff, spending the buff, getting your card, and going back. But it seems that she's not going for that play. Instead, Set will be developed, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, setting it up for the future. Set Brawler, probably the strongest card in a Fiora deck, but goes ahead and tries to get a point of his own. Doesn't have anything to counter a core solution. Will get readied for the Conquer. Does he decide to recall it back? And he spends the buff to get the draw for Monastery Hirana. So great sequencing, knowing and utilizing the full power of that battlefield. Knowing that it doesn't have to be the unit that conquered. You could use any buff to draw on your battlefield that you control, and smartly goes ahead and recalls the Lucian to not mess around with any kind of accelerated potential like those Kaisers or those Dariuses that Draven might be bringing to his attention this very next turn. So 1-1, not too bad. Things are kind of escalating slowly but surely. But of course, on Draven's turn, he's going to get that hold. And I'm curious to see what he's going to do with this battlefield. Do you feel like he's going to retreat those units, or is he going to keep on trying to hold on that battlefield?
I don't know when basically, if I see a set like that, I'm like, I'm not going to survive on my own. So it's like the only way that you would let them here is by saying, okay, I will just use my overzealous fan and get a draw from sacrificing it. Uh, and yeah, thinking ahead. I don't know. I think both options are viable, and it will mostly depend that about what he has in the hands. If he has some fight or flights and so on.
Yeah, and we have a good point being brought up in chat. I don't think the Fiora trigger was activated from that set brawler, because when set brawler gets played, he goes actually he didn't become mighty yet. I think that's what it was. Or no, when he hits the board, he
He is
becomes
mighty.
mighty.
Yeah, he becomes mighty. Didn't he? I thought I saw a rune being channeled,
You know,
but
if he did, he maybe just forgot to exhaust his legend, because the text does read you exhaust your legend, so you can't keep doing it on your turn. You just do it once per turn. So maybe he just forgot to exhaust it as a little bit of a shortcut. But it looks like he takes back the more valuable target, being that Draven, back to the base and leaving behind equally enough kind of defensive pressure with double overzealous fan and a pouty poro. It seems like there's only 6 total might, but that's basically 2 fighter flights built into those Draven's. What'd you say his name was called? Draven's best fan or greatest fan?
Draven greatest fan.
That's what it is. Yeah, we will not call him the overzealous fan. Draven's greatest fan has Draven's back so far. It's going to be really tough because there's no such thing as define or countering those abilities on a unit. So Fiora's going to have a tough time trying to conquer both battlefields. But so far, he does have an easier time going into the Monastery Harana, of course. If he has something like a Pit Rookie to go ahead and buff one of these units, push it into the Monastery, get the draw trigger, you see a little bit more cards. I think he's thinking about it. I wish we could take a little gander at the hand. Oh, I do see a Pit Rookie, Leroy. I think that might be his best options to start things off.
Yeah, I thought he would play the turn before, but developing set was probably way better. And now the issue is just he's going to have to go every single turn with set trying to remove little by little what's on the battlefield, but he's going to give so much draw to his opponent by doing this with all the
And does
all the
activate the Fiora legend ability that we thought he missed, but he does exhaust the Fiora. For those that are new to the Set 2 Riftbound, when a unit becomes mighty, as we just saw Set go from 4 might to 5 might with the Pit Rookie, you do get to exhaust your legend and channeling 1 rune exhausted, as you guys can see on the screen. And now that he pushed into the Monastery, does he decide to get that extra draw? I would imagine yes. What do you think, Leroy? I feel like that it would be smart to get a draw here. Actually, you get the buff from the conquer anyways. It's just a matter of sequencing.
yeah. So yeah, exactly. Because when you conquer, you can activate all the effects in the order you want. So there's no point in not drawing. But it seems that he's not gonna draw.
We might have missed it while I was bringing up the card on screen. We might have missed it because chat's saying he did both, so he probably would have done it. I think he shortcutted it. He just left the buff and just drew 1 because he knew he knew it was going to get the buff anyways, but goes ahead and brings out one of the newest cards to Riftbound, or coming soon to the English, is Dorian's Blade. Pretty straightforward. All it reads is a unit you control gets +2 might, and you just have to pay a single order room. But the brilliant thing about equipment, for those that haven't seen too much Set 2 gameplay, is the equipment, once it hits the base, they never truly go away. So if your unit dies, it just goes back to base. It doesn't go to the trash with the unit. So you pay 2 power, you pay 2 energy for a Dorian's Blade, and it's pretty much sticking around for the remaining of the game. If your opponent doesn't have any gear removal, of course, which is why gear removal is a little bit popular in Spiritforged.
Yeah, and those artifacts, we have the Doran's Blade, the Doran's Ring, and Doran's Shield are all the starters items in League of Legends. So that's a little Yeah, Easter egg, not Easter egg, but yeah, funny thing that they put
Yeah, I
here.
know what you mean. I think it's super cool that they're bringing in the items, things like war mogs, or war. I think it's war mogs, right? War mogs
Yeah, it's
armor.
exactly this War Mugs armor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
war mogs and BF sword, things like that. For those old school League of Legends fan, those items been around for I feel a very long time. I don't play too much League myself, but I feel like I even know some of those items.
Yeah, they're here. Oh, the War Mugs and the Doran's items are here since the beginning, so they're the OGs.
The OGs. That's why they're bringing him out in this next set. But it looks like the Draven player thinking very carefully. He's up to 3 points from the hold on that Forge of the Fluff. He looks like he brought back a Overzealous fan, or actually he might have killed it trying to get pushed in on Lucian, unless that card on the battlefield that they're showing in the middle of the screen is an Overzealous fan and they just have it hidden so far. But I think it might be a hidden card. We'll see when they zoom out. I wasn't paying too close attention.
Yeah, but that's a ×2 on the Overzealous fan. So I
Oh,
think
that's what it is. I didn't know they would do the ×2. So it's a hidden card and a ×2. And Draven doesn't have too many hidden cards. I could only imagine it's one or two options. The more likely target being the fight or the flight, making that 3 potential fight or the flights. Or maybe it's going to be like a switcheroo, because we have seen some kind of switcheroo capabilities from Draven players, right? Do you think a main board switcheroo is possible or not too likely?
no, I think that's still possible. Um, I've seen most of the time them in side. Like it would just be a fight or flight, honestly.
Yeah. And
Um,
just a little side note, I don't see a hidden card. I think that's just a visual display or confusing us a little bit, because I don't see a hidden card whatsoever. But getting thrown back to the Fiora. Fiora will get 3 points for the set brawler hold. And yeah, Leroy, take a look. I don't see a hidden card, right? Are we just
no,
crazy?
I no no it is below the, I mean, on the bottom of the screen there is one. There is one. I saw
Okay.
it.
Okay, maybe there is. We'll trust production. They wouldn't put a random hidden card for no reason, but now it's Fiora's
Look
time.
below Draven. Below Draven, there's an Irelia sleeve.
Call me crazy, but I think it's a little bit crazy to just hide a card so specifically under the card, right? At least show a little bit of the corner or something.
But like not under, just under. I mean, on the screen, not like above the
Oh, the sleeves. That's
on
what's
the,
confusing me.
yeah,
Of course, the sleeves got me.
yeah.
I'm like, wait, that's just part of the decoration. Yes, that is, of course, a hidden card. I'm the crazy one in the situation. Don't mind me,
Oh
guys.
no,
Fiora
it's
thinking of.
late.
Yeah, it's all good. It's not too late just yet, but it will get. If we're crazy now, just wait till we're a little bit down the road. But Fiora gonna be deploying out her pivotal chosen champion. Such an impactful card every time it hits the board. And for those, let me see if I can pull it up for you guys that don't know exactly what that card does. When it hits the board, every time you cross the mighty breakpoint on any of your cards, you're able to pay 1 chaos, or apologies, chaos is all over my mind. You're able to play 1 order rune to ready that same unit. And in this perspective is going to be the action passing the mighty status and getting readied as soon as it comes down with that Dorian Blade. So excellent sequencing, and Fiora looking quite strong, but unfortunately that battlefield, Forge of the Fluff, still seems relatively out of commission or out of the grasp of Fiora. So I think she might just try to go. Okay, he's sending it, Leroy. He's saying, you know what? I have to conquer it eventually. So let's try to dwindle it down, as soon as I can.
Yeah, I was thinking in my mind it could have been like uh that he would just have um like stack his board and on the last turn just send everything. That would have been really fun to see. But yeah, no, it seems he wants to start digging it.
Yeah, I like this because these are more of his lower value units saying, you know what, do you want to go ahead and kill those overzealous fans? It looks like the answer is no. He's going to be flipping the Edge of Night, attaching 2 might onto one of the overzealous fans. So there's a defending total because of the Draven trigger. That's 6, 2, 10, 12 total might defending at the Forge of the Flight. This is going to be tough. Pit Rookie swinging for 2, the Lucian swinging in for 3. So at this position, you're only able to kill a single unit. That doesn't feel too good, right? Because right now, Oh, no, no, no.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, you are only able to kill one unit. That doesn't feel too good.
yeah. Uh, and you would need Call to Glory to, but it doesn't have. Yeah, you would need a Call to Glory to make it work, and not thinking it has one right now.
I think a
I
call to
can see
glory
one at
does
least.
sound pretty good. There's a buff on the set brawler in the back. You're bringing it up to that 8 point, but instead deciding to trade
Yeah,
with the Edge of Night overzealous fan. You win a combat. Draven's getting pointed out. He's saying, you know, every single time I win a combat on my turn, on your turn, do
yeah.
it once, do it
That's
twice.
such
I
a
am
problem.
drawing.
Now here we go again.
Yeah, and again in a couple ways, because here we go again with the Fiora Worthy getting activated one more time to ready up the set brawler and sending in two big units. Action with the Dorian's Blade swinging in with a total of 6 might, and of course set brawler, because of its ability, is attacking for 8. Overzealous fan only able to send one of these back, and if you do use overzealous fan ability, you have to kill it, leaving behind the Draven defending at 6 might. So this is a little risky, but it looks like Draven taking the calculated risks, sacrificing the overzealous fan to take back the bigger unit. Now it's 6-6, but if there's one thing we know about Draven, he has 3 runes available. What do you think he might have in hand, Leroy?
I mean, Gus wouldn't do any good, but he might have Draven Axe that would make the difference.
Yeah.
He will choose to not use it if he had it.
Wow, I was certain he had something. I thought either a longsword, maybe
Yeah,
even just a combat spell, but it looks like calling the bluff, saying, you know what, you have 3 chaos runes open, but I know you don't have anything. Take this trade with me, and that's a big trade indeed. Taking down Draven champion is always a feels good moment as a Fiora player. As any player, taking down the chosen champion does feel good because he's a good card, right? You're able to develop out some gold resources. You get additional +2 on your turn and on your opponent's turn with that ability as well. So all in all, I think that was a fairly good turn for Fiora. You didn't get any conquer points, but you kind of took care of the big menace that Forge the Fluff units were standing on, right? So I think that was all in all decently good for Fiora.
yeah. And I think I saw, the thing is, I think I saw a spinning axe in Draven's hand. And if that is the case and he did not pick it, that would mean that he maybe he didn't want to spend 1 power cost. Maybe he didn't want to recycle the rune because he did the math and he needed it for something else. So that's why he chose to not save Draven.
Yeah, because
I
you're right. We're
think he
looking
had
at the
some
hand now.
options.
He even has a fighter flight, cause so he could have defended the Draven, but he's saying, you know what? I'm thinking a couple turns ahead. I don't necessarily need to waste any more resources defending this Draven. Let's save it when it really matters, when it's more of an impactful turn. Right now, I still have a fairly strong board presence. I have the Darius and the Pouty Pour on base. I'm able to split my attacks to conquer both if I choose to do so. And I still have an Edge Knight to bring that Pouty Poro or the Darius +2. So you're not in a worse position. I think if you were Draven, in my opinion, I would just go for a single conquer. Keep it at even break points on point disparity. Go up to 4. And then maybe go ahead and establish a little bit more. But forget what I'm saying, Leroy. Going for the 5th point. More points,
Huh?
the better for Draven. And ooh,
Oh,
to make
and
even better, to make things even better for Draven, Vex is quite a powerful card for future combats, isn't he?
yeah, exactly. And Fiora doesn't use as many combat tricks in terms of spell as Draven, I would say. So it can be. Uh,
Yeah, and I'll show it here on screen. Vex, for those that are newer to the Draven matchups or to Spiritforged in general, when I'm in combat, all friendly spells cause a energy and a power less. Think about what that's saying, an energy and a power. Not or, it's and. And then on top of that, your opponent cost, 1 energy, and 1 power more. So such a powerhouse of a card. Vex is usually
Yeah.
known for a little bit of the mirror breaker, but it looks like he expected to play a lot of Dravens in today's regional open. So deciding to mainboard it, I can respect that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it will be useful at least 36% of the time.
Yeah, at 1
So
in 3 persons, you're gonna face a Draven. So smartly playing a Vex in the main board, and I believe now it's Fiora's turn. He doesn't have the biggest puzzle to crack, because I think last turn was a little bit of a bigger puzzle, because right now you just have to be a little considerate of 2 runes that could be the fight or flight, that could be something like what we thought before, the spinning axe slash longsword. So if you're able to do the math, it looks like you're able to conquer those 2, but man, the sleeves are getting to me, Leroy. That is a hidden card. I keep messing things up with that, with the Aurelia sleeves
yeah,
there.
I get it. Honestly, it's not easy. Uh, looks like a champion that's here, and you're just like, oh, it's a normal card. Nothing to
Right.
see.
And does play the BF sword to bring up the Set Brawler over the mighty breakpoint. So getting another channel rune, and Fiora playing it as perfect as they can so far, trying to see if they want to send in, actually putting double equipment on the Brawler plus the buff. Actually, I don't think he had a buff, or did he have a buff to start the turn? I might have missed it, so I don't know exactly how much he's attacking for,
No,
but
he
at the
didn't have because he got sent back and he used the buff last turn. So I don't think.
okay, so it'll be
Yes.
4 plus
Wait.
3, 7 plus 2, 9. So swinging into the 7 might of Darius right now with current 9 total might. So currently able to get over, but let's see what Draven has to say about it, because if he does have a spinning axe, that's going to be exactly perfect enough to do it. But to ride the win, is that Vex coming over, or is that Darius going over to the other battlefield? Oh, I smell what's coming. He took 2 and put them in the middle. That looks like it might be a repose. Repose, the signature spell from Fiora coming down, nullifying that ride the win. And man, I think repose might be one of the best signature cards in all of Spiritforged. It's just so powerful.
Yeah. Overall, I feel like the power level of signature spells or else, because now they are weapons, I've been much better on the second set than the first one.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely feels a little bit more of a powerful things, because a lot of set 1 signature spells, you more often than not didn't even included it in the
Yeah.
deck. So I like the signature spells actually being viable in this next set, and that's a big push, because I know he was saving those last 2 runes for a cheeky play like a ride the win, and Set Brawler is going to be quite formidable to take over with just a Vex and a Pouty Poro. He's gonna perhaps try to set up another kind of Darius ready play. But Fiora, you never want to attack with it, but you have to do what you have to do. The fight or flight, gonna be sending it back. You know, Leroy, I feel like that was a little bit of a bait. I personally don't think he wanted to
Uh,
leave Fiora on the battlefield. He just wanted to get rid of the hidden card.
yeah, I think he knew that was fight or flight. But wait, which Fiora is it?
The worthy, the
Uh,
chosen champion one, the one that readies units.
okay.
You're
'Cause,
saying because of the
I
deflect costs?
yeah, I was thinking about that. And
Oh,
since I'm not
forget what I'm
using,
saying. He wants the battlefield, Leroy. He wants to get to that
yeah,
5th point.
eh, yeah, he woke up and he wanted to go to war today.
Yeah, the double repose turn. You love to see it as a Fiora player. And you're going to be able to... What did he draw? Did we miss something with the draw? I saw he drew, perhaps, but maybe I missaw. Looks like he's going to conquer, but this doesn't feel... I personally would have taken the fight or flight, save the repose for when it mattered a little bit more, in my opinion, because right now, you're completely tapped out. Yes, you
Yeah,
have decently strong cards,
yeah.
but I personally would have rather saved that Fiora worthy in the base anyways for a future play. What do you feel like?
I think you're totally right. There was no pressure. It was just a little poro. There was nothing much to deal with. And now you're low on runes, you're tapped out, you're super exposed. So I think I would have done just like you.
Mm-hmm. And we are getting confirmation in chat. It was because the set brawler conquered that turn. It got the buff for the monastery draw, so we didn't see wrong. He did indeed draw, but now the accelerated Kaiser coming in, getting equipped with the Edge of Night, gonna be attacking for 6 total might versus the, I believe, 5 total might. So just one off might. And you have no defenses, right? You thought you could have a call to glory, but there's no longer any buffs on the board. So clean and simple push going up to 6. You love to see it as a Draven player, because right now, if you're able to put on at least another unit, and I think I saw a pretty good unit at that, that's going to be a Noxus Hopeful at the top of his hand. You just have to pay 2 since you already played out a Kaiser this turn with that Legion status. And that's going to be good, strong board development to try to close things out the following turn. You're at 6. You just need to conquer both battlefields the next turn. A little easier said than done, because what's one card we haven't seen all game, right? The punch first. I feel like that's somewhere in the hand, and that's always a very scary card to play around.
Yeah, and I mean, Vex could be an issue for the punch first, but now that it's so late in the game, you don't care about spending all your runes anymore if it's because it will be to finish the game or something.
Mm-hmm.
So Vex will have less impact right now, probably.
Yeah,
Do
so
we
in a
see? Yeah,
decent...
there is one. There is one punch first. Yeah, I see.
Nice. I would only imagine, because Fiora players tend to run at least 2, maybe even the full set, such a powerful card, isn't it? But let's see. 6 to 6. These guys are going back and forth. Ended up being a great, fantastic matchup so far. Thinking about maybe playing out another set brawler, it feels like, is going to be triggering the mighty ability, but you don't have the Fiora. Leroy, this is what we were talking about before. If you had the Fiora in the back line, this set would be able to get ready right now. So perhaps they didn't think a little bit ahead, but granted, he did get an extra point. It did put him into the 6-point position now. So he's not terribly, but I almost want that set brawler to be played out with the other set to try to defend. But maybe I'm just a little bit, maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, because he does have a hidden card. Now that one's tricky. Do you think it's something straightforward like a hidden blade? Or is there something else a Fiora player might be running as the hidden card?
It could be like the new card that lets you summon a unit and gives it -3 or something like that. I don't remember the name,
Okay.
but I think it's an orange card. It could be a Paka Cub,
Yeah, and I'm
but I
saying
don't
it
think so.
could be the face breaker, right? The stun each unit so they can't get over. That could be a good idea. And we're seeing in
That
chat,
could be
yes,
really
a
good.
Brynir Thundersog would be impressive, but a fighter flight on your own unit to keep it in that ready position so you're able to push it into the set brawler, and sending in every single unit. Noxus Hopeful, the Edge of Night, Kaiser, and the Vex. So you're swinging in for a total of, what is that? That's 10 plus 4, 14 total might going into the Forge of the Fluff. I don't think this set is gonna be able to defend. I say that, but we know what's in hand. You said it before, the punch first. Is that going to be bringing it up? Because I can't do the quick maths on the set side. What does he
He
have?
can't play.
Ooh.
He can't play the punch first because of Vex.
Oh, right. It's an extra energy. You're so right. And he's saying even the hidden cards cost 1 energy and 1 recycled more. So hidden blade, to just play it, it's 1 energy. And wait, he
And the
said GG.
Draven is going to take the first win. Yeah, he had the spinning axe.
Oh, that's going to bring it enough, because you held for the Kazu, you fighter flighted back, and you push in for your 8th point. So well done, Draven, getting game number 1 of this round, number 1 of this first Spiritforged Regional Open. Well done. But I thought Fiora played it very well. Perhaps I think the one play that we keep going back on was letting the Fiora worthy go a little bit too soon. Because if we extrapolate a little bit, if he would have saved that Fiora worthy, the Set Brawler comes down, how much runes, if you can remember, we might have to rewatch the VOD, could Set Brawler taken down the Kai'Sa on that turn? Because that would have changed everything, I feel like. Fan it, so if he's able to establish a nice rune runner, add some buffs, add some equipment onto, it could be a rather clean push to conquer these battlefields. And speaking of battlefields, interesting decision for the Draven, Noxious of Power. Dreaming Tree, rather standard and usual set builds. It looks like decently good for a Fiora, but how do you feel about, am I saying it right? I think it's Noxious of Power, right? Or Power of Nexus.
Yeah, power of Nexus. The Nexus is just the basic. It's just the base, the thing that you have to destroy in League of Legends. So, again, still the references. And I forgot what exactly it does. Can you remind me?
Yeah, of course. That's a great, if you forgot, maybe a lot of people at home forgot. So let's go ahead and bring it here. Power Nexus, what it does, I'll bring it up to the screen. When you hold here, you may pay 4 total power to score a point. And thinking about it, it makes decent sense because power cost isn't as expensive in Draven decks because you do have gold generating things like those treasure hunters. We didn't get to see him in game 1, but I would imagine he does have treasure hunters. He also has the Draven champion that every time you win a combat, you go ahead and bring out a gold token. So I think that's a fantastic battlefield. I actually haven't seen too many Dravens play that battlefield. And wait a second, it's Fiora with the power nexus. No.
Okay.
Look at the screen at the bottom. Never mind.
Yeah. I think it's just like the last game where we thought he was the opposite, but no.
Yeah. It looks like Unsung Hero will be the first card. Not too bad. I think Unsung Hero is definitely underestimated in a Fiora deck because you do have things like BF Sword and it synergizes perfectly. You're able to add 3 might onto the Unsung Hero, bring it into that mighty status, and when it dies, when it's under mighty, you get to draw 2. Right now, it's just a 2/2, of course, but if you could add a BF sword on top of it, it could be quite powerful, but gonna be going on the offensive, developing a Fiora on top of the power nexus, so not too bad. Playing kind of aggressively here, saying, you know what? I don't want the 1-for-1 trade with this Pouty Poro. I'm defending power nexus.
Yeah. Which is 6 total might. So it would need like a Blood Rush plus weapon or cleave. It would need a lot to get back the battlefield, and you would not develop here. So it's just going to develop Kai'Sa, which makes a lot of sense. Because why not more draw in Draven? And already a card hidden, and hidden that early like this, I think it will be the Edge of Night.
Yeah, you're totally right. We saw Edge of Night come pretty into. We saw it come pretty good. We saw it do pretty good things in in game 1 is what I'm trying to say. So trying to keep that Pouty Poro protected. You do have the option of Fiora Worthy coming down and trying to get that ready status available to him going forward, but instead gonna be tapping into, maybe he's gonna be a pit rookie. It will be that pit rookie to bring in the Fiora chosen champion, or not chosen champion, just the Fiora champion into the mighty, recycling 1 from the Fiora ability. And more importantly, now you have ganking, which she's gonna be ganking over to the Dreaming Tree, trying to take down the Pouty Poro, but the hidden card gets revealed. And ooh is right. First things first, you have to pay the deflect costs. It does have deflect. Second thing second, switcheroo, swapping the mites. This is crazy. This is an early good play though.
And this gives you a draw, right? Because you're targeting your unit.
I believe so. There was a rules question, I believe, in the main Discord saying, do you get the draw from a switcheroo on Dreaming Tree? I think the answer was yes. I'm right there with you, Leroy. I think you do because you choose your own and your opponent. But I could almost see it the other way around because you're not singularly choosing that unit. So that one's tricky. We might have to see if a judge rules it that way.
Yeah. Um, but if flash works when you can select 2 units, I don't know why. Okay, this is your opponent unit, but yeah, I don't know.
And
Okay,
offering
so
up the trade, it looks like the call to glory. At the
yeah,
very least, you're going to get a +1 draw for your trouble. So it was flipped. I think Fiora went to 2 and the Pouty Pora went to 5. And then the call to glory brought the Fiora back up to 5, being 5 to 5, of course, getting the trade. So not the worst, but I feel like the Pouty Poro came off ahead because you got out a call to glory of Fiora out of the hands of the
yeah,
Fiora player. So not too
and this is
bad.
one of the scariest card that your opponent can have, because usually when you play around that the mana that your opponent have, but this you have to account for the fact that even if he's tapped out, he can have this call of glory being used.
Yeah, man, that was a devastating turn for Fiora, the falling star, which might have very well been a sideboard option for the Draven. Falling star, you don't get to see it too often. It actually might be a main board card now. Trying to think ahead of the Ezreal's the Ezreal's being so strong. The ones that you pitch a card and draw two, they tend to stick in the back line. So falling star is a perfect option to try to kill those in the back line. And in this situation, paying good dividends as well, taking on both units, allowing your Kaiser to most likely get the conquer and the hold. So I think Draven one more time feeling in decent control, but as I speak, the set brawler going to be crossing the threshold for Mighty. Does get ready from the worthy. Does he want to push in? I don't think I would be too scared of a single rune. I think this is the play we were talking about from game one he should have been doing, and does take the Kaiser down, gets the Dreaming Tree. Actually, no Dreaming Tree, just gets the Conquer. So up goes the buff, and he has at least one rune to protect it. I think a punch first here wouldn't be too bad. You have plenty runes available to recycle if you need it. Plus, you get the +1 draw from Dreaming Tree.
Yeah, not only does he have quite some runes, his opponent has only 5 runes to play with, so he can allow himself to go down a bit and uh, get some good tempo here. Sacrifice a bit of long-term value for some heavy tempo play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see. Oh, as you said, he only has 5 runes to work with, so he can't even do a Darius plus anything else because he's gonna be tapping all 5 of his all top 5 for that Darius alone. So we're seeing a little shrug back from the Fiora player. He's saying, "Okay, I'm feeling in a good position." So goes on
Oh,
and
and
it
it
just
just said,
plays out the Draven champion instead.
yeah, he just sent his Draven and nothing else. And this falling star that seemed to be a disaster is actually Draven's doom right now, because he can't play anything, and I feel like Set is just going to develop really strong board. And
Oh,
the
and to make matters worse, the challenge
yeah,
coming off. You don't
man.
even have enough runes for something like a hard bargain. Free kill challenge on top of that. You're going to get the +1 draw from the Dreaming Tree. Fantastic position the Fiora is finding himself in. Recalling the set just to keep it nice and safe. You do have the option to ready it very easily. If actually, no, it's already Mighty, but just down the line, just keeping it safe. Gonna be spending a rune to play out another one, Leroy. Maybe this one might be getting
And
ready to
another
go.
one.
Yeah, another one, right? Does he want to ready it, or does he want to play more of a patient
Of
game
course he
because he
wants
is
to.
yeah,
Why not, after all? And yep.
yeah,
And now
nice plays.
Draven is going to be in the same exact position as the last turn, down 2 more points. Um, I don't know. It seems so bleak for him.
I couldn't agree more. Doesn't look like he's in a fantastic position. Has a little bit more runes to work with now. I believe he's up to 7 runes. But 2 set brawlers in the back. The Fiora worthy still in a safe position. I say that, but if there's another falling star, I mean, you wouldn't feel all that bad. You're only going to be giving up your Fiora worthy at that. So trying to push it forward. Does he want to repeat it? He does. So our Blood Rush getting repeated. And I'll bring that card up since that's a newer Spiritforged card. But most of us here are familiar with the Blood Rush. It's basically like Cleave, but you get to do it twice. And it's only a +2. So +2/+2, bringing that total might up to 8. So he's swinging 8 to 5 currently, but there's 3 runes at the ready for the Fiora player. Does he want to try to defend it? Because he's at 5 currently. If he uses a Call to Glory, it's going to be even trade 8 to 8. But keep in mind, Draven also has some capabilities of doing some combat tricks. So this might be a hard fought battle between these two players.
Yeah. Let's say he's got a riposte. He's got 2 actions. And he's going to accept the trade. I mean, I don't know if he could have done. I could not have done anything. He had the Hidden Blade.
Okay.
But he chooses to not use Hidden Blade on his opponent. Probably does not want to give him more draw. And he's going to pick up a Rebuke from that stack deck.
That Rebuke looking pretty good, especially thinking about the Set Brawler, right? You can't really do damage against the Set Brawler, but bringing it back to hand is quite a big turn. Of course, we do have to keep in mind the Fiora worthy could just allow him to bring it back if he has enough runes to do so. So maybe not the worst position, but Set Brawler going to be using a buff. Bring it into the Mighty Threshold, so sequencing it as perfectly as you can so far. Looking like he wants to push it forward. I don't like a Rebuke here since you're not really going to be saving anything, but getting the buff for the Conqueror up to 6. Now I do think you just play it a teeny bit slower. Just go out and bring out some more units. Fully go on the develop the board game plan, and then try to go in for a big push on your following turn. Or you could just try to hold the Dreaming Tree. It looks like that's what he's deciding to do. So the action getting played out onto the Dreaming Tree, defending for a total. Action's a 4, right? So you're defending for a total of 9. I think that's pretty tough. Even for a Darius, it's going to take like a Darius plus a Blood Rush repeated to get over that. So this doesn't feel all that bad. I think Fiora should be able to hold up to 7. The question is, are they going to be able to push for that final 8th point onto the other battlefield?
That Fiora in base that could help a lot and do so much work. Being able to send Set back in the
Oh, you see that card in there, Leroy? He sided. I'm willing to bet that is a Cyborg card. Do you see it? It was next to the Rebuke. Did you catch it?
I didn't catch it. What was it?
A Thermo Beam. It was a 5 energy 2 power Fury card, so that could be pretty good. Not in this position, but for Fiora, against Fiora in general.
Yeah, exactly. When you see the last, it's unlucky because last game there were like 3-4 weapons that had been deployed, and now he can't do anything.
Yeah, so that's something to keep in mind going forward, of course. But Draven trying to do some quick maths. He's saying, what can I possibly do? That's quite the impressive board. I have the Darius. Does he have the Darius Blood Rush that we mentioned earlier on? So Darius going to be play number 1, still at 5 might. The Spinning Axe adding an additional 3. So he's going to be swinging in for 10, which is 1 more might than that he needs to get over. But Fiora has a boatload of cards to play. The Salvage, incredible way of getting rid of that Spinning Axe. I love it, Leroy. Such a cheeky play, and you get the +1 draw.
It was the perfect card, and now because of it, he has to rebuke the set.
Oh, they're talking about it because whichever one you send back, you just add a combat trick onto the other one. The Darius is only swinging in for 7 at the moment since Spinning Axe got destroyed. And you know, Leroy, I've never seen that before. A Salvage played at reaction speed to kill the opposing Spinning Axe. That is a fantastic amount of value, I will say. So now they're discussing, who do you want to rebuke? Is it going to be the more powerful straight up card as the set brawler? And it will be that as the decision. But Action staying on the board at a current 5. The punch first. We haven't seen it in this whole best of
Exactly.
3
We
series
talked
coming
about it.
down.
We talked about it several times, but we did not see it.
That's
And now
right. Such a
it's going to
powerful
see
card.
on
And the
game.
Draven seeing the bigger picture, saying, you know what? If I didn't win that combat right there, I'm not winning the game. You hold up to 7. You're able to easily push with that set brawler getting readied on the following turn. Well done. And just as we speculated a little bit, we do find ourselves in that game 3 position. I like the sideboard options from both of these players. More so the Fiora with the salvage. Now that she knew he has to play around equipments like the spinning axe, like the long swords, like the edge of knights, I think that's a great adjustment. Yeah, honestly, that deck has too many good cards. I'm like, what do you take out to put in even more good cards? I mean, that's the fantastic thing about Riftbound. You could only have exactly 40 cards in your deck, unlike other TCGs where sometimes you're allowed to play 42, 45. The previous TCG I played in Lurkana, they had no max limit. You just had to have at least 60. But I think I saw a Sunken Temple. If you ask me, or honestly, if you ask my brother, Sunken Temple is the best battlefield for Fiora players. Maybe he was saving it for this very moment where he knew he was going to be on the draw and he needed some kind of advantage to put things in his favor. I didn't get to catch the battlefield on Draven's side, did you, Leroy?
Nope, I didn't have time to. It goes really fast.
Yeah, it did
But
go
let's
fast.
see in the second. Oh, it's the Targon peak.
Another excellent battlefield choice for a Draven is almost exactly what you would want from a purple red deck. You're pretty much Annie with a whole lot of more draw power from the Draven, and it looks like a treasure hunter. Funny enough, we didn't get to see treasure hunter this entire series. I'll go ahead and throw it up on the screen as well for those that are newer to Spiritforged. Pretty much a lot of people have said this might just be the best chaos card. I mean, it's tough because we just talked about Ezreal. I feel like that might be the best chaos card, but at
No,
least
that's the
in
best.
2
Yeah, no.
drops, this is definitely the best 2-drop coming out from Spiritforge. Every single time you move, you develop a gold token onto your base. As we saw, Conquering Targon's Peak, you do get to Ready, which is the 2 runes we just saw after playing out the Draven. But Lucian gets the buff from the Pit Rookie, so has 4 total might, able to swing on the treasure hunter, but I think he's being very careful. He knows what dreaded 2 runes can do. You have a spinning axe to play around, you have a longsword to play around, or at the very least you do have a fight or flight to play around. Wait a minute. Oh, no, nothing went to Mighty anyways. I was like, he should play the Fiora first, but Lucian going first and having to eat the fight or flight.
Now, where do you... Yeah, because you could potentially have used the fight or flight on your own guide to create more gold token. That was an option, but yeah, you're denying the point, so I guess that's better.
Yeah, you're denying the points, and on top of it, it looks like you're going to be holding, but I like this play, Leroy. The buff from the Call to Glory, crossing the Mighty Threshold onto Lucian, swinging one more time. Incredible sequencing, baiting out the fight or flight, and going in again. And the beautiful thing about Lucian, once you conquer, you ready, keeping it back safe in the base. Oh my goodness, what a play. I don't think anyone was expecting that. Nonetheless, the Draven player did not expect that. I've honestly never seen that play line. That was impressive.
Yeah, I hope it didn't spend too much resources doing this, but overall, that seemed like a great line of play. And Fiora seems much more in the game than on the first round of this best of 3, and it's really good to see.
Yeah. She looks to be in a decent position. Draven, you love to see it, to have that chosen champion available. It looks like the stack deck
Rebuke,
options. Rebuke, Overzealous Fan.
Draven Greatest Fan, and the Ride the Wind was the last one.
Right.
And he will go for the Overzealous Fan. I think it's really good. It gives him easy draw. It gives him easy protect of his battlefields. Successful will be developed.
And as you said, picking up Draven's greatest fan, playing it onto Targon's Peak to protect the Draven. So this is the synergy you love to have as a Draven deck, as a Draven player, I should say. But Fiora feeling good with the Fiora worthy already established onto board. So cards like the Set Brawlers we saw in Game 1 and in Game 2, if you're able to play it out, you're able to swing with it at the same turn. I'm seeing, I believe, a challenge in hand. You do have to be careful though, because there is the quick draw ability from those spinning axes, so you don't know if you want to go ahead and play out something like a challenge, even if you had. But it looks like the Chinese stream is showing Sunken Temple. You know, I'll follow suit. I'll follow suit if they're curious about it. I'll go ahead and not play out, but I'll show out the Sunken Temple as well for anyone that's a little bit unfamiliar with that battlefield.
Yeah. Really good, and Fiora definitely gives you so many opportunities. Feels like a better Monastery of Jana, maybe even.
Yeah, and he's sequencing this so well. He knows exactly what to get done with Fiora. Plays out the Set Brawler, goes into the mighty zone, and now becomes ready by recycling one of the Order Runes, pays another buff. So now this Set Brawler going to be swinging in at 8 total might, but there's an overzealous fan, so he has to send in both units. And he's saying, are you going to trigger both of your abilities? You have to decide on both of them right now. Of course, you're probably going to decide on the overzealous fan first to try to send back the Set Brawler. So, ooh, a card we don't get to see too often. Are you familiar with that card? I can't say I do myself.
That's the Cannon Barrage, and it was played in some Yi list, the last set, and I'm struggling to remember the effects right now.
Yeah, I'll bring it up, Barrage.
Cannon Barrage.
Cannon Barrage, deal 2 to all units in combat, including your own. Okay. Oh, no, all enemy units. What am I talking about? So doing 2 additional damage is going to be enough. So he couldn't do it against the overzealous fan. It had to be... Oh, wait a second. He played it as a reaction to the trigger of overzealous fan. I didn't even know that was possible, but what a play. What a potential sideboard piece that comes in so clutch. That is cooking if you ask me. The Chinese have figured out overzealous fan, they're not that crazy if you're able to kill them at reaction speed before they get the trigger off. What a heck of a play from Fiora.
So well played again. We are eating good with this game right now.
Oh yeah.
It was answered by a ride win from the Draven, and so he decided to not face the Fiora at all and just go on the Sunken Temple. Conquered, so he got the draw, he got the point, he got the gold. I think it was a really good ride win there.
I do think so as well. Getting up to 4 points, so it does have the point advantage so far, favoring. But Leroy, I'm just taking a look at the time. It looks like it's overtime because the clock is counting up now. So these guys on a 3 turn. Wait a minute. I think we are in overtime. I didn't get to see who was player 0. Oh, that's going to make a world of difference, right? Because these players have to win by 2 points or else they're going to draw. And speaking of draws, in these rules, oh, I think he said 2. I think he's saying you were player 2. What I was trying to say is I think we're going to see a lot of draws in today's regionals, more so than we saw in previous events.
Yeah. Why so, do you think?
I was just saying, I think a
because
lot
of
of games are always by...
Yeah, okay, because of the 2 points.
Yeah, I think it's a little tough, but I think Draven with this conquer might bring him into that pivotal 5th point, exactly what he needs to win. If Fiora doesn't get another turn, which he looks like he's setting up for another turn, he just needs to conquer 1 to tie, and I think I'm seeing a little 3 Or no, is the timer confusing us? No, it is counting up. I'm not crazy, but I'm seeing a tiny little 1 out of 3. So I think it just hit. Draven was player 0, or turn 0, I should say. Now Fiora player is turn 1. So they each have 2 more turns available. Actually, Draven only has 1 more turn available.
Yeah. So that means if Fiora does not retake one of the battlefield right now, it's over.
Mm-hmm. Well, Fiora is gonna get 1 more turn, because if he's turn 1, he passes it over. That's gonna be turn 2, and Fiora will be turn 3. So she gets 1 more shot. So let's see. He's trying to push in for 8. The stack deck is looking like a good option, but not good enough, because you are going to be providing the value, or you are going to be getting the conquer for Fiora's side, because there's really nothing you could do with a single rune. So Fiora should be going up to 4 points.
Yeah, no, you cannot gust a set that is at 8 might. So yeah, exactly. The tag on speak has been conquered. That means we are 5-4. But he's going to go for the hold. That means is like I won't be able. He's going for the draw basically.
Yeah.
You want to secure the draw more than trying to go for the win.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a play trying to say, I don't want to let you get the win and me the loss. Let's go ahead and both get a point. Just a single point for the tie. Better than a loss of course. For Farah's Forerunner getting played out, saying, you know what? I have to play for the tie as well. I have 6. Actually, no. Oh, no. Yeah, never mind. They're both going to get the whole point. So Draven's at 6. When you pass it over, Set's going to go up to 5. And he's trying to do everything in his power to not let Fiora conquer. But thinking about it, if he conquers, you still tie, because it's just going to be 6-6. So no matter what, this is a guaranteed tie. That's kind of anticlimactic, isn't it?
Yeah, but the Draven could have tried to go for the win, I think. No, he could not. I fumbled the numbers. Yeah. So it was guaranteed draw. You're right.
You know, if there's a will, there's a way. You can bring the Set Brawler back, use his buff, pit rookie, bring it up to mighty status, ready it, punch first, and call to glory. Something along those lines. Maybe there's a world, because right now you're defending for 12.
That would still be 6. So no matter what, it's a draw.
Yeah, you're so right. It's a draw regardless. But if we kind of think ahead, maybe there was a world Fiora could win this game. But thinking about it, I don't think so. There's just too much might on that sunken temple.
Both battlefields on the previous turn to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know what they're thinking. Yeah, GG. That was a good game. That was a really good game. It was fun to watch. There was some interesting plays. Yeah, GG to these 2 players. Big GG.
Yeah, big GG. I know a lot of us in chat were surprised. I'm seeing a lot of oh wows and OMGs. I don't know. We weren't expecting those cannon barrages, right? That was some spicy tech. I'm gonna have to tell my brother about that, because that's a good tech against the overzealous fan.